The 80s. It's the decade that gave us Rubik's Cube, hairbands, and Alf. But most importantly, it gave us the summer of '84, which for geeks of a certain age means movies. Some of the best ever made. Welcome to Blastr TV's 1984, the Summer of Sci-Fi. I'm Nicki Clyne, and today we're looking back at the movies that made '84 famous.
When I think of the summer of '84, it was all about, for me, begging my parents to go to the movie theater because there was so much amazing stuff out.
It was the second Indiana Jones, it was Gremlins, it was Ghostbusters, it was Star Trek 3, it was a pretty dense year. For Last Starfighter was that summer. It was really enjoyable.
It's true that summer had it all, so I hear. From cult classics to classic disasters. We're talking to you, David Lynch. Back then, we didn't have to worry about internet spoilers. I'm sure all of you remember relying on movie posters to find out about new releases or waiting in line to buy tickets.
The movie-going experience was quite a bit different than it is today because I grew up in a small town. There's only one theater. You've got to see what they're playing, or you have no luck. And fortunately in '84, the movies all were good.
So what caused this blitz of awesomeness in cinematic history?
One of the things about the summer of 1984 is you have to think that this is a year after Return of the Jedi came out. So we're coming to terms with no more Star Wars, like as a civilization. There's no more Star Wars that's ever going to come. And so Hollywood is adjusting to that, and they're creating these franchise starters that they want to be the next Star Wars.
That's right, the movie studios were scrambling to find a replacement for Star Wars, the biggest franchise ever. And for us, it meant sequels like Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. No! It also led to genre mashups like Gremlins and Ghostbusters.
1984 and Ghostbusters was this sort of like crystalline moment for nerds everywhere. You could actually have a really smart, really well done supernatural movie that was also a drop-dead funny comedy.
You'll never see another summer like the summer of 1984 because it's just full of risky material, taking chances. You look at Ghostbusters today is this classic, but back then it's a risky film.
And thankfully, these risks left us with the biggest variety of movies we've ever seen. In just one summer, we had trippy book adaptations for fantasy and horror fans, talking turtles and rock biters in The Neverending Story, quirky genre pictures like Dreamscape and The Philadelphia Experiment. And let's not forget Conan the Destroyer and Sheena. Or maybe we should. We also got soon-to-be cult favorites like Streets of Fire, The Toxic Avenger, and The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension. And who can forget The Last Starfighter? This one wins the award for most underrated movie of that summer.
The Last Starfighter, as much as I do sort of love the heroic journey of The Last Starfighter, the CG is kind of not what you want it to be. But, it's still, you've been recruited to defend Zura against the Kodan Armada. It's still kind of awesome, even if it's not that awesome.
It's perfect timing to have a movie all about a guy, a champion in a video game, go to, save the world. And yeah, as a kid, I loved that movie. We had it on VHS and I wore it out watching it over and over again.
Back then, Hollywood tried everything. And in the process, they started a trend, the search for the next big franchise. Recent movies like The Avengers and The Dark Knight can thank the summer of '84 for making movie studios realize just how important a franchise is to modern sci-fi. And we couldn't be more thankful because what we got was the best movie summer ever. Sure, you could argue we've had other great movie summers like 1982, 89, even 2008. But when you consider the diversity, the concepts, and Bill Murray, you can't top 84.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
What I keep hoping Hollywood's going to learn from the lessons of 84, 82, those summers, 86, 89 even, is go back and look at the fact that what got people excited, what got people turned on was the idea that there was this energy and there was a creativity and you unleashed filmmakers on these things, and we've lost that. Now everything's a property and it's very carefully considered, and you know, we have filmmakers still with passion, but it feels like the box keeps getting smaller and smaller. And that summer, it felt like the box was infinite.
We want to know what you think of the summer of '84. What were your favorite films? Did we jog any good memories? Tell us about it in the comments below or tweet at us using hashtag Blastr TV. And don't forget to join us for part 2 of Blastr TV's 1984, The Summer of Sci-Fi. We're going to take you on a Ghostbusters tour of New York City. Till then, I'm Nicki Clyne.